At center, 7 foot from Houston, number 34, Hakeem Olajuwon.
And then able to recover. Olajuwon for three. Olajuwon. Yes. Transition to the power forward spot. Cassell for three. NBA championship. Olajuwon to the corner. Olajuwon tried to split through. He did. Not pretty.
In the dream. Here comes the break. Lucas at the other end. Behind his back. Fancy. Olajuwon.
Before the spotlight. Before the signature spin move that broke ankles and spirits. Before he became the most complete center to ever play the game. Hakeem Olajuwon was just a boy, born in Lagos, Nigeria, with no idea that greatness would one day wear his name. He was born on January 21, 1963, into a large Yoruba family where faith, discipline, and hard work formed the core of everyday life. His parents ran a modest cement business and taught their children the value of humility and self-respect. Young Hakeem, the third of 8 siblings, learned early that nothing would be handed to him. He didn't touch a basketball until the age of 15. In a country where basketball was a mystery and soccer reigned supreme, Hakeem's early days were spent dodging defenders on the soccer field and leaping for volleyball spikes. These sports unknowingly laid the foundation for the game he would soon come to master. Soccer gifted him fluid footwork and graceful agility, tools that would later become his signature in the paint. By 16, Hakeem had sprouted to over 6 feet tall. His raw athleticism caught the eye of a coach who suggested he try basketball. He did, and within a few short years, this late bloomer was on a flight to the United States with a scholarship to play for the University of Houston. There, he would join a basketball revolution. Under coach Guy V. Lewis, the Cougars developed a fierce, electrifying playing style built on speed and swagger. The team called themselves Phi Slama Jama, and alongside Clyde Drexler, Hakeem became part of one of the most exciting college teams in NCAA history. They ran, they dunked, they turned basketball into theater. In 1983, the team reached the NCAA championship game against NC State in what would become one of the most dramatic finishes in college basketball history. Houston, the heavy favorite, struggled against NC State's patient offense and tight defense. With seconds left in a tied game, a missed shot turned into a last-second dunk for NC State. Hakeem, who had dominated the tournament, could only watch as the ball fell through the hoop. Houston had lost. The dream was delayed. Despite the heartbreak, Hakeem was named the tournament's most outstanding player, an honor rarely given to someone on the losing team. It was a testament to just how dominant he had become. But Hakeem wasn't satisfied. He returned to Houston and pushed himself further, refining his game in summer workouts with NBA legend Moses Malone. Moses was more than a mentor. He was a master of low-post dominance, and he saw in Hakeem something extraordinary. Under his tutelage, Olajuwon learned the finer details of positioning, patience, and power. Day after day, the two giants clashed in empty gyms. Those sessions forged the iron that would carry Hakeem to the top of the basketball world. In 1984, Olajuwon entered the NBA draft, widely considered one of the most talent-rich drafts in league history. It featured Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton. And yet, with the #1 pick, the Houston Rockets took Hakeem Olajuwon. No one questioned the decision. He was just that good. In Houston, he was reunited with Ralph Sampson, forming the legendary Twin Towers frontcourt. They were huge, athletic, and unstoppable at times. In 1986, just Hakeem's second year in the league, they reached the NBA Finals, taking on Larry Bird and the dynastic Boston Celtics. Though Olajuwon dominated the series, the Rockets fell short in 6 games. It would take years before Hakeem would return to that stage. As the decade wore on, Houston unraveled. Sampson's knees gave out, role players fell into legal troubles, and Olajuwon was left as the lone star. Critics accused him of being difficult. Rumors of a trade surfaced, but Hakeem didn't complain. He just evolved. He improved every aspect of his game. He became a defensive terror, leading the league in blocked shots and anchoring the paint with intimidating precision. On offense, he was poetry in motion. His dream shake, a flurry of fakes and spins, baffled defenders and left Hall of Famers looking lost. Still, championships remained elusive. Then came 1994. With Michael Jordan retired, the NBA was up for grabs. Hakeem seized the moment. That season, he averaged over 27 points, 11 rebounds, nearly 4 blocks, and almost 2 steals per game. He won League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP, the only player in NBA history to claim all 3 honors in a single season. In the NBA Finals, he faced off against Patrick Ewing and the bruising New York Knicks. It was a battle of giants, but Hakeem's skill and grace outshined brute force. In Game 6, he famously blocked John Starks' game-winning 3-point attempt to save the season. Houston won the title in Game 7, and the dream had finally come true. But the encore might have been even more impressive. The Rockets entered the 1995 playoffs as a 6th seed. Underdogs, forgotten, overlooked. Mid-season, they acquired Clyde Drexler, Hakeem's college teammate, in a last-ditch effort to salvage the season. Together, they stormed through the playoffs, knocking off the top-seeded Spurs and David Robinson, who had just been named League MVP. Hakeem took that personally. He demolished Robinson in the series, averaging 35 points and redefining what it meant to dominate from the post. Then came the NBA Finals against a young Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic. Shaq was bigger, younger, louder, but Hakeem, he was better. In Game 1, he tipped in the game winner. The Rockets swept the Magic in 4 games. He had won back-to-back titles as the lone all-star on his team. No one else in league history had done that. Not Jordan, not LeBron, not Kobe, just Hakeem. By the late 90s, time began to catch up. Injuries slowed his pace. The league had changed, and after a final season with the Toronto Raptors, Olajuwon quietly retired in 2002. But his story didn't end with basketball. Post-retirement, Hakeem turned his attention to real estate, a business he approached with the same intelligence and timing he brought to the court. He studied markets the way he once studied defenders. He built a real estate empire in Texas, acquiring prime commercial and residential properties. Financially, he thrived, but never sought attention. Spiritually, Hakeem deepened his faith. A devout Muslim, he had often fasted during Ramadan, even during playoff games, and still played at an elite level. After retirement, he traveled frequently to the Middle East, studied Arabic, and focused on personal growth. His Islamic values remained the foundation of his life, guiding how he raised his family and treated others. He kept his family away from the spotlight. A husband and father, he raised his daughters in Houston, instilling in them the same values that had shaped his journey: discipline, humility, and devotion. His daughter, Abby, even played college basketball, a fitting continuation of the Olajuwon legacy. And though he never sought the spotlight, the next generation of NBA stars came looking for him. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwight Howard, they all made the pilgrimage to Houston to train with the dream. They came for footwork, for wisdom, for a glimpse into greatness, and Hakeem shared it freely. He wasn't just teaching basketball, he was passing on a philosophy, a mindset of patience, of poise, of faith in the process. Today, Hakeem Olajuwon remains a symbol of excellence, on and off the court. He didn't chase headlines, he didn't build a brand, he built a legacy, from a late-blooming kid in Lagos to the heart of Houston's greatest sports triumphs. From heartbreak in the NCAA Finals to back-to-back NBA championships. From a student of Moses Malone to a mentor of the game's next legends. Hakeem's story is not just one of basketball. It's a story of growth, resilience, and grace. He was never the loudest, never the flashiest, but in the quiet storm of his footwork, in the humility of his dominance, and in the dignity of his faith, Hakeem Olajuwon became not just a dream, he became timeless.